He attempts a comeback. He schedules this interview with GQ.
Yeah.
That was a scripted interview. They knew the questions.
Scripted interview.
He answers the questions on cue. But the purpose of this interview was to convince us that him and Rock Nation aren't as terrible and evil as the world is making it out to see.
Nah, JC, I ain't gonna lie. It took too long for you to do this shit, bro. Like, this shit been going on since fucking the shit was going on with Diddy, nigga. You feel me? Ever since they had that they had a assault lawsuit or some shit with Diddy or some shit like that, and they said they did something. They said SA a girl or something like that. You feel me? And that shit was like before 2024, before Diddy got caught, and you shoot out that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you all in the Epstein files. Hey, fool. I don't know. Scripted interviews, shit like that, fool. They're trying to save your face. Shit ain't going like that. I ain't gonna lie.
I think at some point during this interview, he did say they're going on the offense this year and not the defense. Meaning they're gonna be proactive in trying to deconstruct the narratives instead of letting the narratives fester and then have to send copyright strikes and go after independent small creators who are just doing their job by reporting on the treachery of Rock Nation.
So that's sweet.
And the truth is, at the end of the day, it still reigns supreme.
When you're feeling these feelings, how do you then bounce back and get back to being Jay-Z?
I don't know. This is the first thing I'm doing.
Yeah,
actually, it was just like, all right, man, we played enough defense. 2026 is all offense.
Politicians.
Defense for what? Defense for what? If you ain't did nothing, then why you gotta be on defense and all type of shit? What's really going? Come on.
Perfected this skill, but the upper echelon of celebrities have also taken on this skill, which is making a scripted interaction look like it's genuine. If you watch this interview with an untrained eye, you would probably think, oh, this is just a genuine conversation. They're just going with the flow. No, this conversation was scripted from stop to start.
I ain't even watched the interview, but I think I seen the first 2 minutes. 1 minute, 2 minutes or some shit like that. Nigga, Jay-Z getting an interview from like a college student or something like that. Like he fanned out type shit. Like, now let's get back to the gritty. The back and gritty and shit like that. You know, back in they did, you know that one interview with R. Kelly, how they did that, you know what I'm saying? That interview, fucking Bill Cosby, that little, like, why Jay-Z ain't going like that? You feel me? Jay-Z said, nah, I ain't going like that. If we gonna do an interview, we gonna do it how I wanna do it. Shit like that, fool. Y'all not. We facing my face card. We gonna save my fucking face card. Whatever it costs, nigga.
Like, for God's sakes, they had a 60-year-old wearing grills and an almost 40-year-old dressed like Miles Morales.
That's the student right here.
Was like the producers or the script writers for this interview, they thought, how can we make this feel authentic? Jay, wear some grills. Let the people know you are for the culture. Hey, you 40, dress up like Miles Morales. They even told bro, hey, man, put the hat towards the back. Yeah, wear the hat like this. Man, whoever dressed, bro, he dressed like how people think black people dress, right? From start.
Like, boy, like, they even trying to script his fucking outfit, like, wear up, wear this, wear that, wear that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you don't look guilty. What the, like, if you're not guilty, you're not guilty, gang. You feel me? Like,
to finish,
man.
It's just a fact, bro. I remember at some point during his interview, like, he asked Jay-Z, man, how do it feel to be a universal soldier, a warrior for the culture?
No,
and you have people blaming you for being a capitalist. I said, what's the question? Hey, bro, how do it feel to be so great? Like what? Nobody has ever in life said, Jay-Z, you're just too good of a capitalist. Cut it out, man.
All right, watch out, bro.
But this is one of those scripted questions that he requested to be asked. He requested they call him a universal soldier. I said, this is just absolute malarkey, but it ultimately backfired. The PR he was looking for, he didn't get it.
Sticking with a written testimony, you have a couple of verses on there that I really like because they kind of speak to what's going on with you in a broader sense in the culture, like on Universal Soldier. I think it is when you said that you don't keep the same energy for the DuPonts and the Carnegies.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to talk a little bit about this idea of like you said earlier, like the things that you do for the culture, the ways that you put on, the ways that you try to protect and move forward, but kind of
Protect what? Jay-Z was on some other shit. He a little freaky dog. They say he freakier than that nigga Diddy. Like, gang, you is not no soldier. And for real, before everything that happened, that nigga was on top of the goddamn, you feel me? I guess you gonna say he was a king. But now your ass, you ain't shit no more. I am just sorry to say it, nigga. Everybody, there's too much shit going on. I told you it's been too long. You just let this shit ride out, you feel me? Like, you know they be saying, if it's not true, don't say nothing. But low key though, you gotta say something, nigga. With that type of allegations and
the
shit.
pushback that you get sometimes about like people throw capitalists at you in a derogatory sense.
Yeah, I think in that verse specifically, the only thing I heard coming up was the American dream until we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. People had this law for the struggling artists. That's a mind game, what we would call back in the day for tricknology. It was like, no, I'm not going for that. Like, no, I make art first. And then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I ain't taking no one. That's not my reputation. That's not what I do. I didn't get here.
So you didn't sell out for the title thing? You know, title is Rock Nation shit, right? Fool, they said every artist on there and shit like that, they don't own everything in that bitch for real. Like, for real though, like that's for some other people. Like, you just trying to put all the artists on that bitch. Like, you want some more slaves on his shit. You feel me? Like, yeah, go to title. You feel me? I'm there. You feel me? I'm the king. Or shit like that. So everybody came to title. Look what the fuck going on. Like, Jay-Z, like, come on, for everybody. Every answer that you got, they got another answering question from your answer. Like, everything you said, like, come on, for bring a real interviewer. Like, come on.
Taking advantage of people,
not no
or taking advantage of
student.
The loopholes in the system, or
glazing.
some wrinkle in like a capitalist structure. That structure exists, and I just see the world for what it is, not for what I want it to be. I'm a realist, not an ideal. It's not idealistic.
Have you ever heard anybody say, "Oh man, Jay-Z, you monetize your art too well"? How dare you make those albums and sell the way you sell? Man, cut it out, bruh. Nobody in the history of life have ever said that. You've never heard anybody say it. You've never heard anybody say that ever in life. But what people have said when they call Jay-Z a sellout, I can go down the laundry list if you want me to.
He did. Go ahead.
I would have asked, hold on, bruh.
We here.
Did you tell Jermaine Dupri not to work with the NFL when they approached him to do the halftime show? Didn't you tell him not to work with the NFL because we was boycotting the NFL?
Yeah.
Just for you to take
and
the Super Bowl job
Kendrick on there,
the
right?
NFL and then tell black folks,
Honey Boy is
we
on.
done protesting. We done blackballing the NFL. What's next? After you got hired, after they gave you a check, after they gave you again, the NFL paid Jay-Z to be a cultural regulator. Jay-Z was that one black person they had on the plantation to watch out for any escape plans. Black folks was protesting. We was done with the NFL. They gave Jay-Z a check to tell us to stop boycotting. After he got hired by the NFL to make them look good, Rock Nation called up TMZ to run a bad story on Colin Kaepernick.
Crazy
this is
shit.
why we call Jay-Z a sellout.
And I remember that, and I remember about that shit too. Like, just because that nigga ain't standing up or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? During the motherfucking anthem and shit like the American anthem and stuff like that. Don't even feel like that shit wasn't even that bad. That's serious, fool. You know what I'm saying? But they just looking for anything just to do something. But that shit was wild how they did that nigga. He was a good goddamn QB, and they doing that nigga wrong. You feel me? Sell out. We know he been a sellout, gang. Come on, fool. Like, gang. Everybody can sing this shit, bro. Jay-Z, you ain't. Come on, fool.
Like this. It was Nessa, and she was talking about Nicki Minaj's claims about a smear job that Jay-Z had against Colin Kaepernick. But I know for sure, that Rock Nation was seeding negative stories about Colin Kaepernick during the time that he was really in traction with Jay-Z. For sure. I've told this story before, I'll tell it again. This is another story where I give Harvey a ton of credit, right? So I'm at my desk one time. This is after the Rock Nation NFL deal has been announced. And give Harvey more credit than just with how he played this. I'll give him credit for the fact that he goes, hey, I just got this information on the phone. I know who was on the other end of the phone. I know who Harvey's Rock Nation contact is, right? I just got this information on the phone. And all of these things about Colin Kaepernick is what I just got told, right? He comes over to me and he tells me all of these things. And it was the whole Colin Kaepernick doesn't really want to play narrative. Like Colin Kaepernick didn't go to this training, or he sabotaged himself this way or whatever. Actually, it was the same thing that people had started to hear on First Take. And it was a narrative that was getting around because either it was coming from, what I thought at first is that either it was coming from players that had played with him or people that knew things. I don't know, but I had heard it before, right? And Harvey comes over to me and he says all of this stuff and he's like, yeah, did you know that he actually doesn't really want to play? And I looked at Harvey and I said, look, I don't think that we here at TMZ should be getting in the middle of what's going on between Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z.
The really dense Jay-Z defenders and Rock Nation cult members will say, Rock Nation called, not Jay-Z. Right? Jay-Z owns Rock Nation. Right?
What
When
the
Rock
fuck?
Nation calls, they call it on behalf of Jay-Z. And it's no coincidence that Jay-Z signs up
They work for
to
Jay-Z.
the NFL. Colin
And Queen
Kaepernick
B.
criticized Jay-Z for working with the NFL and telling black folks to stop boycotting. And then Jay-Z and Rock Nation began to tell people, hey, y'all shouldn't be boycotting. Colin Kaepernick don't really want to work with the NFL. He don't really want a job with the NFL. Huh? That's why people call you a sellout. It's not because you're a capitalist, bruh. Right? It's because you a snake. And you be doing some selling out and bootlicking. This is what you known for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ain't got nothing personal with Jay. But, yo,
He's just a snake.
I don't know. It's maybe because I'm in media, man. I just value genuine interaction. And when I'm seeing a clear, scripted interview being passed off as like a genuine, man, it's like, all right, bro. Like, come on, man.
Like, I'm done with this shit.
Even like the following stuff, like when he's asked about Drake and Kendrick and this battle and this beef, what he says is probably just as absurd as his capitalist statement.
I have no idea. Okay.
Couldn't tell you off top.
That no longer exists. And the last pillar is battling. We love the excitement. And I love the sparring and the music you get. But in this day and age, it's so much negative stuff that comes with it that you almost wish it didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a final thing. Now people that like Kendrick hate Drake.
Yeah.
No matter what he makes. No matter what he says, and it goes far too. It's like attack on his character and his thing, and it's like, I don't know if I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful to our growth, where the fallout lands, especially on on social media, which takes place every day.
Yeah.
And now you have these pods of cult.
The Stan armies fighting.
Yeah, and it's like it's too far.
Yeah.
What about
It's
yours?
like bringing people kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that. You know, maybe I've grown in a space that is probably, I sound like the old guy wagging the finger.
Bro, your ass was mad as hell on Drake about a fucking verse. You feel me? And it's been so wild. You been mad at that nigga, so mad. You feel me? You been having beef with that nigga Drake. You feel me? When he didn't go to Tidal or what is it? Fucking Spotify or some shit. I don't know. They wanted Drake, Jay-Z, because they was working together about songs and shit, bro. And they was supposed to make business and shit together. Go there. He wanted that nigga to go to goddamn Apple Music or some shit. That nigga said no or something like that. He went somewhere else. I don't know. They wanted him to go to Tidal. No, he wanted him to go to Tidal to his shit. Nah, Jay-Z. I mean, Drake wasn't fucking with that one, so fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. And you still holding a grudge about that shit. Now they beefing. And now, all of a sudden, you the man about the Super Bowl. Now we're going to put Kendrick on there. The same year they just so-called won the beef. Like, Jay-Z, you not slick, gang.
But
Not slick
I
at
think
all.
we can achieve the same thing as far as like sparring with music, with collaborations more so than breaking the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
It could stand it before because there was no social media and there was no thing, and you know, you had the battle and it was fun and then you moved on.
Right.
Right now, I don't know if it could stand it with the technology that we have.
Because it takes up so much oxygen.
It takes up so much oxygen.
Yeah.
And now it's just like every day they're just trying
They're
to
still
take,
talking about it.
It's not just talking about it. Not like, yo, this song I like this.
Yeah.
No, it's like trying to tear down the people's life.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like trying to, you know, wreck this guy's marriage or this guy's relationship with his child. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Again, I love the idea that we got so much music in such a short period of time.
Great music.
Just everything around it was just like, man, it's like taking us a couple steps back,
Yeah.
and we just grown so much that I don't know if, I guess I'm gonna say it, I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture anymore.
Music is one of the best ways to express your feelings. That's why today we're gonna do some.
The thing about Jay-Z is really great at making his own personal issues look like a cultural issues. And then he utilized the culture to solve issues in his
Right.
personal life, even if it doesn't benefit the culture. Like, for example, Tidal. Jay-Z wanted to line up his pockets. Jay-Z needed investors to come in. Jay-Z needed to build something and to work up this business that was, for the most part, destitute. Like, Tidal was a company that really was not competitive with other streaming platforms. So you know what Jay-Z did? He
Invested
made
to.
his problem, which is this Tidal thing that is not really performing or going up, he made it a cultural issue. Hey, man, this thing Tidal is for black people. We're gonna bring in our black creators and we're gonna pay
I'm
them
one of y'all.
everybody else. We're gonna give them equity because this is for us and by us. And then black folks rally around Jay-Z, the culture rallied around Jay-Z. Artists like Rihanna and Nicki Minaj signed up to exclusive deals with Tidal because they were getting equity. Man, Jay-Z ran up Tidal, man, sold it for like $300 million and ain't give them a goddamn thing. Same thing.
Crazy
Jay-
word. Slump. Slake
Jay-Z
ass
is
nigga,
upset
man.
because Drake stands. OVO stands have been really vocal and really loud in their critique against Jay-Z because they feel like Jay-Z took the side of Kendrick Lamar. They feel like Jay-Z has been doing some underhanded things. Now, they wouldn't be wrong when they say that Jay-Z picked the side because, like Jay-Z liked Kendrick Lamar more. For whatever reason, he likes Kendrick Lamar more. Jay-Z obviously picked a side in this battle because, his friend, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, he said publicly that when he wrote a positive article about Drake, Jay-Z contacted him to let him know why that article is incorrect and shouldn't exist and how Drake and this and it. So
Right,
Jay-Z
yeah.
obviously picked a side. You think if somebody writes a positive article about Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z is contacting them to dispute the positive article? No. So Jay-Z will make it seem as if, oh, he's neutral. Oh my God, this is sad. No, the only sad part about it is that a large percentage of hip hop fans who just happen to be Drake fans have turned against Jay-Z, have turned against Rock Nation, and they're very public and very vocal about it, very loud about it. Jay-Z would even admit to such a little later in his interview.
Interesting.
I hate that I had this point of view. I do, because I know what it sounds like. I know what it feels like. I hate it it's just how I feel about
Well,
it.
it even kind of extended to you, right? Because people made it a personal thing that you chose Kendrick for the Super Bowl. It's like, oh man, he's choosing the side, and he's and he's not.
Like I don't have what do I have to do with that? I chose the guy that was having a monster year. I think it was the right choice.
Word.
It wasn't in some sort of alliance to a battle. I don't.
Yeah.
What I care about them two guys battling, like, what that got to do with me?
Ain't no telling what.
Hey,
I want to see what academics gonna see about this.
It's
I gotta
almost
react to this
not
shit.
on just me, by the way. They drag everybody in it. Like everyone's part of this conspiracy to undermine Drake, I guess. But
Yeah.
like, like what? Oh, Jay-Z. All due respect to him, man.
That don't mean shit no more. Sonic. I'm Jay-Z.
Like, for what? To what end?
Yeah.
It couldn't be like these guys just don't like each other.
Yeah.
And I think they haven't liked each other for a long time.
Before you had anything to do with it.
For a while.
Yeah.
I think this has been brewing, just like me and Nas was brewing.
Yeah.
It didn't happen at the Summer Jam. That happened. The Lex and TV sets, the minimum, whatever. It was a whole bunch of stuff leading up to that point.
Myth Bleak, what is the Myth Bleak slugs in your hat, right?
It was slugs in your head. It was a bunch of like little things that led up to that point. And then when it happened, I actually regret that because I really like Nas. He's a really nice guy.
Other people like Joe Budden and others had an issue with what Jay-Z has to say about in terms of battle not being no longer part of the culture, or we should move past battling. They had an issue with it. A lot of people did. Now, what I'll say is I don't completely disagree with him. All right, I don't feel like particularly that Jay-Z is the root behind this, but nobody thinks Jay-Z is the root behind the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. But what's very clear is
He helped
Jay-Z
a little
picked a
bit.
side.
Yeah.
Now, do I feel like
Picked a side,
him
for sure.
telling Kendrick Lamar to perform was him picking a? Yes, it was him picking a side, but was it a wrong decision? No, Kendrick Lamar deserved to perform at the Super Bowl. He deserves it. He had the biggest and best year of any rapper or artist that year, so he deserves it. Yeah. I 100% agree. He either him or Wayne, but Kendrick Lamar deserves it.
Even it was just because
But somebody could still deserve it.
Just because it was a beef, you know what I'm saying? A rap battle and shit like that. You feel me? And then after that, he dropped a good album and shit. Just because, like, you feel me? That little beef shit right there, that shit was some good ass promo for your album and shit. Cause where the fuck was Kendrick? And you know what I'm saying? I fuck with Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Love, bro. 6th grade was my fucking shit, bro. 5th grade, 6th grade, going to middle school. When that nigga Kendrick dropped that shit, Love, boy, bro, they was going to the bus. They bumping that shit. Like, we ain't got no speakers in that bitch. But they just got that shit, you know? I was like, yeah, he was doing his thing and shit, but where the fuck, he wasn't even over there. Like, I ain't even looking for that nigga shit until the beef. Then he dropped a little album and shit. He got that one. He got some good bangers on that bitch, you feel me? Luther, shit hard. He did. He had a good year, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to take a L one day. Well, you don't got to, but one day you gonna take a L. But you feel me?
And you can still be doing the right thing while also picking sides. And we know from people like Michael Eric Dyson and others in the industry, Jay-Z has been very anti-Drake. Giving calls or texts or contacting people because they talking positive about Drake is crazy. But let me know in the comment section, what was your reaction to this interview?
It's just, I ain't even watched the interview. You know I ain't gonna watch this shit. You feel me? Y'all want this shit? Y'all let me know in the comments for sure.